Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 1. Today we are going to share with you the recruitment process on different types of job seekers. Here are the two readings for our group, and this is our agenda. First of all, for our recruitment message, it is the information delivered to the potential employees in order to attract job applicants and to fill job openings. According to the journals, employer brand is therefore key to design recruitment message. It is a set of distinctive images of a prospective employer, which would be manifest in the minds of potential employees. To have a complete picture of how the employer branding works, the author proposed a conceptual framework for the employee-based brand equity. He suggests that the effectiveness of a brand signal to potential employees is dependent on the consistency, clarity, credibility, and associated investments in the employer brand. In details, it was suggested in order to design an appropriate branding strategy, understanding the perception of job seekers is necessary. For example, in the elaboration likelihood model, different job seekers with various levels of motivation and ability will adopt different processing approaches, such as job seekers with high motivation and ability usually adopt central processing, which focus on the quality of the recruitment message. In contrast, job seekers will adopt peripheral processing, which focus on the surface features of the message. Similarly, in the heuristic systematic model, people with high motivation or ability will adopt systematic processing to thoroughly understand any available information. In contrast, people with low motivation or ability would adopt a heuristic processing which involves focusing on silence and easily comprehended clues, like the credibility of recruitment message. Heuristic processing was also found to bias systematic processing with high task importance and ambiguous message. In fact, low risk perception was also found in audience using systematic processing, while the opposite was found in heuristic processing. It may therefore imply the importance of having positive heuristic clues, such as high credibility in the recruitment message, to promote a lower risk perception in the potential employees. With the explanation from the above two psychological models, we can see that the employer brand as a recruitment message should be in the consideration set of the potential employee, especially the previous experience, as a reference of the motivation and ability of the job seekers.
Now I'm going to talk about the characteristics of more experienced job seekers. Generally, they are more reflective and critical when evaluating the prospective employer brand signals, particularly the brand clarity and credibility. Also, they are more likely to value the company's specific contribution to their career profile and chances for promotion. And for the less experienced ones, due to their lack of experience in job seeking, they may be more relying on the promotion of employer branding, as this could be the only or dominating signal they will receive from the prospective employer. So, because it's hard to differentiate the motivation of job seekers in terms of their experience. However, more experienced job seekers may have high ability in evaluating the recruitment message due to more exposure to the reality in the workplace. They may tend to use more central processing in evaluation. First, the recruitment message could aim at increasing motivation and providing stronger arguments for better outcomes. For those with less work experience, they may have lower ability in evaluating the recruitment message due to less exposure to the reality in the workplace. They may relatively rely more on peripheral processing. Thus, a recruitment message targeting these job seekers could include more positive heuristic cues for better outcomes. And to apply on more experienced job seekers, because they may put the emphasis on work culture and career development when evaluating the recruitment message expressed by the prospective employers. So to produce a more effective recruitment message for them, realistic job review could be included that both favorable and unfavorable job-related information are provided. It is associated with more role clarity and organizational honesty. In this way, these candidates could critically and realistically evaluate on their fitness with the company, such as whether they can handle the job duties and how this offer would benefit their career development. This can serve as a strong argument for whether they should work there. And for the application on less experienced job seekers, they may put the emphasis on whether they could obtain a strong corporate brand on CV if they could win the offer. Also, they may need more training and mentorship received from this job position for more prospering career development. To produce a more effective recruitment message for them, word of mouth information could be a credible source. There could be senior employees talking about mentorship and training received by the job position. To strengthen the effect of word of mouth, non-employers with great expertise, such as former professional partners, could also be introduced. Their opinion or experience in working with the employers could be used to increase organizational attractiveness and credibility due to their expertise and how they positively evaluate the employer from the perspective of a third party.
For specialized talents, employee referral can be used to identify potential candidates from their existing employees' social networks. Since qualified candidates would be first pre-screened by current employees, they were most likely to be hired and perform in a higher level. So it is an effective method in the case of specialized jobs that might be difficult to fill through traditional channels. An experiment on the pre-hire differences for 3 groups of call center applicants was conducted in 2006. The results showed that the high performers were better able to refer qualified individuals. They were more aware of what personal attributes were needed to perform a job well, and also they tended to value their reputation more. As a result, they were less likely to refer poor candidates, but better able to refer qualified candidates. And the company may need to develop a carefully managed program with if they want to use this method. For example, keep the referrer informed about the recruitment progress, or provide referrer with bonus once the new hire has successfully completed the probation. A job board is another way to attract specialized candidates. Research found out that applicants from more focused job boards were rated as having better educational credentials and a higher level of skills, but they often lack working experience compared to those from general job boards. This method provides a lower visibility than websites, so it often results in an overwhelming influx of applicants. The company may provide more person job fit information so as to get a smaller applicant pool with higher quality.
Here are the methods related to the experience of individuals. First, campus recruiting can be used to attract university students that are less experienced individuals. The effects of general publicity and message credibility will be the key to influence student central rules processing of information concerning the prospective company. There was a simulation on graduating students in 2002. They compared 3 recruitment-related actions with 3 pre-hire outcomes. The results showed that advertising and word-of-mouth endorsements were related to all 3 outcomes, and sponsorship was linked to application intentions. Campus recruiting is good for companies to hire younger generations, but they need to pay more attention to expanding and capitalizing word-of-mouth endorsement if they want to recruit strictly from university. Another method is to use employer website. Full website attributes would influence applicants' perceptions of organizational culture. They were useful in communicating details about culture, including the employee testimonials was positively related to the time spent on a website, employer attractiveness, and information credibility. Showing awards would also have a positive impact on the applicant's impressions, as they are perceived as objective, so they have a greater credibility. More detail related to a job opening could result in a greater chance to apply for a job. Easier to navigate the website generates more applicants, but it may be too over. So employer can provide individualized feedback on the person job fit. If the applicants receive good fit, they will be more attracted to their company, spend more time on the website, and could better recall the details. Based on the research in 2008, less experienced individuals would be more affected by peripheral website characteristics. Organizational attractiveness ratings of the more experienced individuals would be mainly affected by the detail provided. Also, if the individuals were unfamiliar with an employer, they tend to draw inferences about unknowns from the website. However, the information on the employer website was rated as less credible than that in the company independence website.
so it has less impact on the organizational attractiveness. Therefore, companies should choose the method carefully based on their target.
Next, we are going to discuss about the use of recruitment media. Media richness theory is introduced by Richard Deff and Robert Lango in 1986. It is used to describe a communication media's ability to reproduce information to potential candidates. It ranked and evaluated the richness of different kinds of communication medias. The result found that two-way interaction attracts greater attention from our information recipients. This is the media richness theory model. The model shows that face-to-face communication is seen as the most effective way of recruitment method, followed by video, audios, and text. The rank and ordering is based on the property of in-person communication. For face-to-face methods such as referral program, college campus recruiting, and career fairs, a two-way interaction will attract greater attention from information recipients. Because during the interaction, recruiter is able to ask questions and get answers immediately. Information can be personalized by asking different questions. Moreover, facial expression and tone of voice can be also considered. For job advertisement involved with video, audio, and text will be less advantage, as they involved one-way interaction, because the advertisement is not customized to the individual needs of job seeker, while there are no opportunities for recruiter to observe candidates verbally or by their body gestures.
Next, I'll talk about the timing of recruitment activities. It has been shown that delays in different recruitment process could have several negative effects. Firstly, delays in starting the recruitment process could result in a shortage of job application pool. It has been documented that beginning recruitment later in the year could only receive fewer job applications, which were also with lower quality. In this sense, candidates would prefer companies who begin the recruitment process in a timely fashion, since they want to reduce the uncertainty involved in finding a job. Secondly, when it comes to delays in response to the job applications, for employer side, their later reply means the job applications are lack of attractions. For candidates, they would positively dispose toward those employees who reply their inquiries in a timely manner. There's a study shows that the longer the delay, the less likely an applicant could attain an employment meeting. And also, the longer the delay, the less likely an offer would be accepted. Besides, this study has also shown that the quality of applications would have no effects in this time lag. There's also a study investigated the indicators of recruitment timeliness. It has been documented that the time of days that have elapsed between the submission of a job application and an invitation for an interview could affect candidates' decision as long as they have a stronger perception of organizational attractiveness. That is to say, candidates' response is a good predictor of attractiveness towards one organization.
To conclude, the recruitment method shows that word-of-mouth method should be used to attract less experienced job seekers, while more realistic job preview method is for more experienced candidates. For recruitment method, it is better to use employee referral program for recruiting specialized talent. To hire less experienced job seekers, campus recruiting is more suitable. Moreover, there are some areas that recruiter must not ignore,
such as recruitment media and timing, the delay of recruitment activities will have negative impact on the recruitment process. Thank you.